process, so they are not used for the curing of the disease. They are just giving the symptomatic relief. They relieve the symptoms. Clear? And so most of these drugs are required for lifelong. Patient have to take these drugs for lifelong. Now we come to the, as I have told you that the signaling in the CNS occur because of the chemical substance that is released at the synapse, and it is called the neurotransmitters, and the electrical signals that is directly passing from the neuron to neuron. So by these two ways, signaling or communication in the between the neuron occur in the CNS. We have, as you know, we have multiple neurotransmitters that play an important role in the brain physiology and involved in various functions of our body, in which some neurotransmitters are excitatory, some are inhibitory, and many neurotransmitter has dual effect. They excite, they produce excitation on one type of the cells and inhibition on the other types of cell. The most common excitatory neurotransmitters are the glutamate and aspartate. Glutamate and aspartate. The third one is in this table. The third neurotransmitter is written serotonin, but serotonin is not actually absolutely excitatory. It has some inhibitory effect as well, and we are not going. We are not talking about these last two ones. Okay. Then inhibitory. The most important inhibitory neurotransmitter in the brain is GABA. Gamma amino butyric acid, GABA, and you all know about it. And glycine. Second is glycine. GABA is mainly present in the brain, and glycine mainly present in the spinal cord. We are not talking about last one. Then we have few neurotransmitters that act as an excitatory as well as inhibitory neurotransmitter, like acetylcholine, epinephrine, dopamine, norepinephrine, and we will not talk about all these. Okay. How they act on the act as an excitatory and inhibitory? Because they act on different receptors. Neurons, glutamate, serotonin, both having a number of receptors, different types of receptors. Glutamate has 3 types of receptors, and serotonin has, I think, more than 5 types of receptors. And different receptor acts through the different signaling pathway. As you know, if you recall your knowledge related to the receptor families, we have some receptors that are ion channels, we have some receptors that are G protein coupled receptors, some are tyrosine kinase receptors, etc. So these different receptor acts through the different signaling mechanism, like acetylcholine. Acetylcholine has 2 types of receptors, muscarinic and nicotinic receptor. Muscarinic receptors are G protein coupled receptors, while nicotinic receptors are ligand gated ion channels, okay, or ion channel receptors. So the effect can be different in different receptors, and we have different types of G protein. The drug, the receptor that activate GS protein produce excitation. The receptor that activate GI protein produces inhibition. So now I think it's clear about the concept that how they act as excitatory, inhibitory, or dual effect. Is it clear? Okay. Now we will discuss briefly about the few important neurotransmitter and their function in the body. As you know, norepinephrine, dopamine, they are the biogenic amines, and norepinephrine regulate anxiety, learning, memory, emotions, sensory processing, including pain, sleep, and most importantly, blood pressure control. So all are the function of norepinephrine in our body. And if there is a disturbance in the level of norepinephrine, it may disturb all these things. It may disturb all these things. Similarly, dopamine. The dopamine is known as the euphoric hormone, neurotransmitters. It causes a feeling of well-being, feeling of euphoria. It has important effect on the behavior, emotions, cognition, emesis, prolactin release, and motor coordination. And dopamine, the imbalance like excess of dopamine can cause psychosis, which is a neurological disorder, and deficiency of dopamine can cause Parkinsonism. I think it is clear for you, and you have read all this information in the physiology. Acetylcholine is mainly concerned with memory, sensory processing, and motor coordination. Motor coordination. Okay, so the deficiency of acetylcholine causes memory loss, or we can say dementia. Dementia किस condition में होता है? Most commonly in Alzheimer's disease. In Alzheimer's disease, patient having dementia because of the loss of cholinergic neurons. While excess of acetylcholine can produce the movement disorders like Parkinsonism. Next one is serotonin. Serotonin control appetite, mood, social behavior, sleep, and sexual desire. And imbalance of serotonin can cause depression, most importantly, because almost all antidepressant drugs increases the level of serotonin in our body, and by increasing the level of serotonin, they reduces the depression. So serotonin has a very important role in mood or in causing depression. GABA, as you all know that GABA and glycines are the inhibitory neurotransmitters, and GABA is mainly present in the brain and regulate the neuronal excitability and motor coordination. These are the two functions of GABA, and it regulates the neuronal excitability. As you know, the glutamate is it's an excitable neurotransmitter. So the effect of glutamate is regularized or balanced by the GABA. Glycine is a neurotransmitter that is mainly present in the spinal cord, and there is nothing to discuss more. We are not going in the detail of CNS physiology because you have already read these information in the second year or in the first prof. So we are just giving a brief overview about different neurotransmitters and their function. Then we come to the glutamate. Glutamate is excitatory neurotransmitter, and it is mainly present in the brain. Okay, glutamate has different types of receptors. NMDA receptors is a very important receptor. Otherwise, it has two other types of receptors as well. It has an important role in synaptic plasticity that is related to learning and memory. We have only few drugs that act on the glutamate receptors. So we are not going in the detail of the physiology of glutamate. Okay, now we come to the topic. Can you explain this picture? Have you seen 4 different moods in this picture? Can you explain this? Can you write it down on the chat box? What it shows? Anxious. Okay, it shows anxiety. What else? Okay, you can say some sort of depression, worried. Okay, this is all phobia. You can say phobia, fear, worried, anxiety, confusion. Very good. Confusion, irritability, anger. All these moods are shown in this picture. So all these conditions are treated by a group of drugs that is known as anxiolytic drugs or sedative and hypnotic. Okay? Depression is somewhat different. Depressive mood is somewhat different. We will discuss later on. But all these things shows the anxiety, irritability, phobias, panic behavior, confusion, etc. And all these conditions are treated by a group of drugs that is known as sedative and hypnotics or anxiolytic drugs. So today's topic is sedative, hypnotics, and anxiolytic drugs. First, we will discuss the learning objective. Okay, what is our aim of this topic? All of you should know or should be able to classify sedative and hypnotics, discuss their mechanism of action, pharmacological action, clinical uses, adverse effect, and drug interactions. You can differentiate between benzodiazepine and barbiturate because in sedative hypnotics we have two main classes, that is benzodiazepines and barbiturates. So you should differentiate between these two groups. Then next is the identify the distinctive properties of buspirone, isopicolone, brimelteon, zaleplon, and zolpidem. These are the other non-benzodiazepine and non-barbiturate drugs that can be used to treat anxiety or can induce sleep. And describe the withdrawal symptoms and management of overdoses of sedative and hypnotics. Remember, sedative and hypnotics, all these drugs are producing their effect by CNS depression. All these drugs produces their effect by CNS depression, and the usage of these drugs can cause addiction and dependence. Addiction and dependence. So they may have a withdrawal symptoms that you should have to be treated. Clear? Now we come to the term anxiolytic. What is the meaning of anxiolytic or sedative? These are the group of drugs that reduces the worries, reduces the apprehension or anxiety, and produce the calming effect. These drugs are known as anxiolytic. And next one is hypnotic. Hypnotics are the group of drugs that is used to induce sleep. This group of drugs produce drowsiness and encourage the onset and the duration of the sleep. Clear? But unfortunately, we have a single drug that produces the sedative and anxiolytic effect at the smaller doses and hypnotic effect at the large doses. Okay, all barbiturates and benzodiazepine initially at smaller doses, they produce the calming effect, sedative effect, anxiolytic effect, and at higher doses, they induce sleep and they causes drowsiness. But we have some other drugs as well that has no sedating effect, or they're only purely used as an anxiolytic without causing hypnosis. And we have some hypnotics that have no effect on anxiety. But these are the fewer drugs. Most of the drug produces both of these effects, anxiolytic effects and hypnotic effects. To understand this chapter or to understand this sedative and hypnotic, we may encounter with some terms like rapid eye movement sleep. As you know, if you recall your sleep cycle, in a sleep cycle you have 4 phases, and rapid eye movement sleep is one of the phase of sleep cycle. So in this phase, it is associated with the rapid eye movement. Most dreaming takes place during this sleep. And then anesthesia. What is anesthesia? I think all of you know about what is anesthesia. Loss of sensation, loss of pain sensation, loss of consciousness, etc. Clear? Then addiction. Addiction is a state of response. Addiction को क्या कहते हैं हम? आदी या लत. किसी चीज की लत लग जाना या किसी चीज की आदी हो जाना. It is defined as the state of response to a drug whereby the drug takers feel compelled to use the drug and suffer anxiety when separated from it. Drug users जो भी है उसकी इतनी उसको आदत पड़ जाए कि उसके बगैर उसको anxiety feel हो. Then dependence. Dependence is inhisar, किसी चीज के ऊपर depend कर लेना. So few drugs or few substances act on the body in this way that the body depends on that drug, and it causes the state of response to a drug whereby removal of the drug evokes unpleasant, possibly life-threatening symptoms or withdrawal symptoms, we can say. Dependence can cause the withdrawal symptoms. And these symptoms usually often the opposite to the drugs effect. Then tolerance. Tolerance is a very common term. Reduction in drug effect or continuous usage of the drug can reduces the response of the drug, and to take the same response now we need more drug. So this is tolerance. So these are the few terminologies, and we will discuss addiction and dependence in detail afterward. So anxiety, what is anxiety? Anxiety is a normal response of our body against stress, or it is an adaptive response that prepares a person to react with the challenges of life. Anxiety is not a disease; it is a normal response. Okay, and everyone feel anxiety in their life. When you feel anxiety, before you have to face any challenge first time, when there was your first day of the medical college, when before exam, or if you have to perform on the stage, then you feel anxiety. So anxiety is a normal response, it's not an abnormal behavior. But excessive or excess of everything is bad. On the result day, yes, on the result day you feel anxiety, and we have many occasions on which we feel anxiety before viva. Yes, before viva you feel anxiety. So anxiety is a normal response, but the excessive anxiety can produce problem and can affect the daily life of a person. So that should be treated. Otherwise, normal anxiety is a normal response of our body. Anxiety, the symptoms of anxiety is similar with the symptoms of fear that you feel, like tachycardia, palpitation, trembling, sweating. Okay, sometimes patient may feel diarrhea, increased GI motility. Sometimes patient feel. Okay, so problem with the anxiety or the long-term anxiety, it can impair the person's ability to perform the different activities of daily life. And chronic anxiety can be associated with gastrointestinal, cardiovascular and neurological problems. Okay, और वो आप जो है वो patient may feel unable to do anything. So this is a normal anxiety. This picture shows the different types of anxiety: stress, restlessness, frighten, worry, etc. These are the few more symptoms related to anxiety. Patient may have chest pain sometimes. Patient may have chest pain because of this anxiety, and the origin of the chest pain is not a heart, it is just anxiety. Increase muscle tension, muscle pull, especially the muscles of the back muscles. Rapid breathing, or sometimes patient may feel breathlessness. Okay, palpitation is very common. Heart blood pressure can be increased in cases of anxiety, or patient may feel nausea or diarrhea. These are the common symptoms or effects of anxiety. We have different types of anxiety. Acute anxiety is occur in response to various factors. For example, severe illness make you anxious, death of any close relative, separation of your any loved one, or any other thing that can make you anxious. So acute anxiety is a normal phenomena, and usually it is subside, it is self-limiting, or sometimes a patient may need the help of the drug, short-term treatment of the drugs, and this anxiety will be relieved. The most severe form of anxiety is the generalized anxiety disorder. This is a chronic form of anxiety, and this type of anxiety requires psychotherapy and specific treatment. Especially this type of anxiety is treated by antidepressant drugs, because sedative and hypnotic anxiolytic drugs are only used for short period of time. Remember, they are only used for short period of time because they have a potential to develop addiction and dependence. That's why this group of drugs should not be used for prolonged period of time. And generalized anxiety disorders and chronic anxiety require the long-term treatment. That's why we use antidepressants instead of sedative and hypnotics. Post-traumatic disorders. Post-traumatic disorders, as the name shows, this type of anxiety occur after any major trauma. After any major trauma. Okay? Trauma can be physical, trauma can be mental. Clear? For example, after a severe car accident, patient anxiety, ठीक है, और कोई ऐसा इंसिडेंस हो जो कि पेशेंट की लाइफ को बहुत डिस्टर्ब करे, so then that can cause post-traumatic disorder, and this disorder is also treated by antidepressant drugs. Then we come to the panic disorders. You can see this picture. It shows the panicky behavior. Panic disorder is an exaggerated form of acute anxiety. Exaggerated form of acute anxiety, और इसमें किसी specific situation में patient may feel panic. वो shout करना शुरू हो जाता है, या और बहुत सारे तरीके होते हैं जिससे वो अपना रिस्पॉन्स शो करता है. सो दिस इज अ पैनिक डिसऑर्डर्स, एंड इट इज आल्सो ट्रीटेड बाय ऑलमोस्ट ऑल conditions in the chronic condition must be treated by antidepressants. Sedative and hypnotics are only used for acute relief of the symptoms, remember. Then the phobia disorders. You have seen many people that having different types of phobia. Post-traumatic disorder can lead to anxiety and depression is interrelated terms. ठीक है? Anxiety and depressions are interrelated. Few symptoms are different. Few symptoms are different because in post-traumatic disorders you have anxiety because of phobia. ठीक है ना, यही होता है ना, इवेंट कोई कार एक्सीडेंट हुआ, कोई और आपका प्रॉब्लम ऐसा हुआ, कोई आपके साथ ऐसा इंसिडेंट हुआ जो आपको मेंटली या आपको फिजिकली उसने हर्ट किया, और जब भी पेशेंट उसको रिकॉल कर या उस टाइप की सिचुएशन आती है, या सम टाइम वो सीजन आता है या वो टाइम ऐसा आता है, तो पेशेंट फील द सिम्टम्स ऑफ एंजाइटी. ठीक है, ऑल सिम्टम्स ऑफ डिप्रेशन इज नॉट इन पोस्ट ट्रॉमेटिक, इस वजह से ही इसको डिफरेंट किया गया है. ठीक है, बट इट हैज सम सिमिलैरिटीज. इन फोबिक डिसऑर्डर्स patient may have different types of phobias, like you have seen the this girl show feel phobia from the puppy. puppy इसको कैसा लग रहा है, like a dinosaur, है ना, और कितना छोटा सा है. Similarly girls feel, we will discuss later on about the anxiety and the depression. अगर मैं अभी इसमें लग गई तो फिर, because in depression patient have a suicidal thoughts. मैं आपको briefly बता देती हूँ कि in depression patient may have a suicidal thoughts and patient have a guilt. ठीक है, while in anxiety patient have a fear, patient having a tachycardia. ठीक है, so anxiety is depression is different, but it can occur simultaneously. ठीक है, and it will be more clear when we'll discuss the antidepressant drugs. So now come to the phobic disorders. Phobic disorders, as you have seen here, some patients planes पे चढ़ते हैं तो उनको phobia feel होता है, वो नहीं. Some people have a phobia with water. They can't go to the are you listening me? Are you hearing me? Please message in. Okay. I know now. Now you can hear me. So we have a different types of phobias. So phobia, treatment of phobic disorders is also with the anxiolytic drugs or with the antidepressants. Then obsessive compulsive disorders. Obsessive compulsive disorders, you have seen what it shows. The patient is not satisfied with the single hand washing. It will hand wash, she will or he will hand wash multiple times. Similarly आपने देखा होगा कि बहुत सारे लोग होते हैं जिनको satisfaction नहीं होती है, और वो yes, so they are not satisfied with single act. Like अगर किसी ने दरवाजे को लॉक किया है तो वो बार बार जाके चेक करेगा कि दरवाजा लॉक है या नहीं है, हैंड वॉशिंग बार बार करेगा, या कोई भी ऐसी चीज. That is called obsessive compulsive behavior, and this type of things are treated by antidepressants. So these are the few types of anxiety disorders. ठीक है. They are anxiety disorders, but different forms of anxiety, and can be treated short term by the anxiolytic drugs, and with long term treatment by antidepressants. And reason I have told you that why we are not using anxiolytic drug for the long period of time. So the strategy for the treatment of anxiolytic is to reduce anxiety without causing sedation. Unfortunately, almost all anxiolytic drug causes sedation to relieve the anxiety, and sedation can interfere with the daily life, the activities of daily life. Okay, so ideally, anxiolytic reduces anxiety without causing sedation, and we have only one anxiolytic drug, that is buspirone, that reduces anxiety without causing sedation. Otherwise, almost all anxiolytic causing sedation along with anxiety removal. Then for hypnotic, the strategy for the treatment is to induce and maintain sleep without causing hangover effects. Hangover effects, I think it's a new term. Hangover means the remnants or remaining effect of that drug. कि अगर कोई पेशेंट अगले दिन उठता है तो पेशेंट may feel drowsiness, patient may feel headache, dizziness, impaired concentration, so that patient cannot perform the daily activities. So these are the hangover effects. These are the hangover effect. And most of the hypnotic drugs causes hangover effects. That's why patient जो भी पेशेंट ये ट्रैंकुलाइजर्स या स्लीपिंग पिल्स लेता है, आप अगर ऑब्जर्व करोगे तो वो एक्टिव फील नहीं कर रहा होता है नेक्स्ट डे. ठीक है, बिकॉज ऑफ दीज हैंगओवर इफेक्ट, स्पेशली विद द लॉन्ग एक्टिंग ड्रग्स. Now we come to the classification of anxiolytic or sedative and hypnotics. We classify into three main groups: benzodiazepines, barbiturates, and miscellaneous. Three groups, and this chapter is very, very important from examination point of view and from practical point of view. अगर आप एज ए जीपी काम कर रहे हैं तो जितने भी पेशेंट आपके पास आएंगे 80% पेशेंट नीड्स एंजाइटी. ठीक है, or they have some behavior or some mental problem. It is a major mental disorder. Okay, so you have to remember it. You have to concentrate on this topic: benzodiazepine, barbiturate, and miscellaneous. Now we come to the benzodiazepines. Benzodiazepines are again classified into according to the duration of action. According to the duration of action into long acting. Long acting have a duration of action 1 to 3 days. Intermediate acting that has a duration of action of 10 to 20 hours. And short acting that has a duration of action of 3 to 8 hours. 3 to 8 hours. Okay. So in long acting we have diazepam, flurazepam, chlorozepate, and chlorodiazepoxide. ठीक है, diazepam, flurazepam, chlorozepate, and chlorodiazepoxide. Usually these benzodiazepines have suffix of pam. ठीक है, this is suffix is present in the end of these names, so you can easily remember, except few drugs like chlorozepate and chlorodiazepoxide. In intermediate acting, you have seen here alprazolam, lorazepam, temazepam, ठीक है, alprazolam, lorazepam, and temazepam. ठीक है, इसको आप ALT से भी याद कर सकते हो, ALT. You have to remember this classification. Then we have oxazepam and triazolam. Triazolam and oxazepam has a short duration of action. Alprazolam, lorazepam, and temazepam has intermediate duration of action, and diazepam, flurazepam, chlorozepate, and chlorodiazepoxide has long action. Okay, this is about the benzodiazepines. Benzodiazepine is a very, very, very important class of sedative and hypnotics, and practically nowadays benzodiazepines are commonly used than the barbiturates. Barbiturates were used before 1960, but after the introduction of benzodiazepines, the benzodiazepines is preferred because of It has less adverse effect. It has less potential to develop dependence and addiction. It has less potential to develop drug interactions, etc. So barbiturates are again divided into long-acting, short-acting, and ultra-short acting. You have seen here, it has no intermediate acting. It has no intermediate acting, but it has long-acting, short-acting, and ultra-short acting. In long-acting, we have phenobarbital. It's only a single drug. Phenobarbital is only drug that has long duration of action. ठीक है? And phenobarbital can be used to treat epilepsy or fits in children. अगर आप लोगों ने हो सकता है किसी ने एक्सपीरियंस किया हो या जिस किसी ने ऑब्जर्व किया हो कि if the children, small children or the newborn having a high grade fever, then they may develop fits, and that type of fits are controlled by phenobarbital. Short acting, the duration of action is 3 to 8 hours, and these drugs are pentobarbital, secobarbital, and amobarbital. Have you seen the suffix of barbital? ठीक है, ये suffix जो है वो barbiturates में use हुआ है at the end of the word drugs, so you can remember by this suffix: pheno, pento, seco, amo. Classification of barbiturates and even benzodiazepines are not very difficult to remember. Okay, so you can easily remember because it has only few drugs. And the last one, that is ultra short acting, and it has a duration of action is only 20 minutes, is thiopental. Thiopental. If you recall the knowledge of general pharmacology, thiopental was many times used for the example of redistribution or any other things, because thiopental has a very short duration of action, and this drug is used for induction of anesthesia. अगर आपने कभी देखा है जाके ओटी में, तो इनिशियली क्या करते हैं, पेशेंट्स को थायोपेंटल का इंजेक्शन देते हैं, पेशेंट में गो इनटू स्लीप, and then they put the endotracheal tube. Then they put the endotracheal tube in the mouth and give the general anesthesia. ठीक है? Because conscious state में patient will not allow you to put the endotracheal tube inside the mouth. Okay, so thiopental sodium is used for the induction of anesthesia. Okay. So barbiturates are the phenobarbital, long acting. Short acting is the pentobarbital, secobarbital, amobarbital, and ultra short acting is the thiopental sodium or thiopental. Now we come to the miscellaneous drug. In miscellaneous drug, I have told you that we have only a single anxiolytic drug that has no sedative potential, buspirone. Buspirone is the only drug that will not cause sedation, and it only reduces the anxiety. But the problem with buspirone, it has very slow onset of action. It has very slow onset of action, so it cannot be used for acute anxiety. It requires 2 to 3 weeks to produce its effect. Then hypnotics. These are the pure hypnotics. They have no effect on the anxiety. ठीक है? Zolpidem, zalipilone, and isopicolone. Nowadays, these hypnotics are very commonly used to induce sleep rather than the benzodiazepine, because it will not cause hangover effect. It will not have a potential to develop addiction or dependence. So these three drugs are very safe to use as a hypnotic. So nowadays we prefer zolpidem, zalipilone, and isopicolone. Okay? The next one is the orexin receptor antagonist. I will tell you the role of orexin receptor, but they have a role in the sleep cycle. That's why it's antagonist sevorexin. This is a new drug. Okay, this is a new drug, sevorexin, and I think it is not available in Pakistan. Sevorexin is a orexin receptor antagonist. I think I have left one drug, that is Ramelteon, and Ramelteon is a melatonin receptor agonist. ठीक है. Rameltian is a melatonin receptor agonist. I will confirm. Okay. Now the flumazenil. This is a flumazenil. The positive point of benzodiazepine is benzodiazepine has its antagonist. It has its antagonist or antidote, flumazenil. And this flumazenil can be used in case of overdosage of benzodiazepine. It can be used in case of overdosage of benzodiazepines, flumazenil. And this is only with the benzodiazepines. Barbiturates, remember, has no antagonist or no overdose. Barbiturates. Okay? And barbiturate causes more severe CNS depression as compared to benzodiazepines and may cause respiratory depression and can cause death. आप लोगों ने previously इन पास्ट ये होता था ना कि किसी ने सुसाइड करनी है तो वो क्या करता था, स्लीपिंग पिल्स ले लेता था. आपने अक्सर मूवीज में देखा होगा, आपने अक्सर ड्रामों में देखा होगा कि स्लीपिंग पिल्स ले रहे हैं फॉर सुसाइड, टू अटेम्प्ट द सुसाइड. And that was the barbiturates, because a heavy dose of barbiturate can cause respiratory depression, can cause CNS, severe CNS depression, and can lead to death. But this is not occur with the benzodiazepines, because benzodiazepine never causes respiratory depression even at very higher doses. It is quite safe drug. And secondly, benzodiazepine has its antagonist, that is flumazenil. And in case of benzodiazepines overdosage, flumazenil can reverse its effects. We have some certain other drugs that has anxiolytic effects, although they are not included in the classification of anxiolytics. Remember, आप लोगों की सबसे बड़ी मिस्टेक ये होती है कि आप लोगों को कुछ आपकी इंफॉर्मेशन के लिए ड्रग्स बताई जाती हैं और आप उनको सबसे पहले लिखते हो कि जी क्लासिफिकेशन में. रिमेंबर, these drugs will never come in the classification of anxiolytic. It is just for your information. We have some other groups of drugs that also reduces the anxiety, or sometimes they will produce drowsiness. Okay, these are the tricyclic antidepressants. These are the antidepressant drugs. Monoamine oxidase inhibitors. It is also used for the treatment of depression and Parkinsonism. Then antihistamine. Antihistamine आपने experience किया होगा. जो फर्स्ट जनरेशन है, वी हैव टू जनरेशन ऑफ एंटीहिस्टामिन्स. आप लोग जो आजकल यूज करते हो रेजिक्स और जो है वो सॉफ्टिन और फेक्सिड, these antihistamines are the second generation antihistamines and they have very less CNS depressing effects. But these diphenhydramine, doxylamine, these has high potential to cause drowsiness. ठीक है. Two examples I have missed, like promethazine and hydroxyzine. These are the two other antihistamines that can cause drowsiness. And माएँ बच्चों को जो है फिनर्गन के नाम से आता था, और बहुत सारी इन पास्ट जो है वो बहुत सारी मदर्स न्यू बॉर्न बेबीज को फिनर्गन दे के सुला देती थी जब बच्चा ज्यादा तंग करता था, because the antihistamine has a sedative effects. ठीक है, वो sedate कर देता है, drowsy कर देता है और बच्चा सो जाता था. Few antipsychotic drugs also have sedative effects. So group that can cause anxiolytic or hypnotic effects. But this group of drugs will not be included in the classification of anxiolytic. अगर आपसे पूछा जाता है कि classify sedative and hypnotic, you just write it down. Are you listening me? Because there is disturbance in the internet connection. Are you listening me? Barbiturates and zolpidem, zalepilon, isopilon, and or the cevorexant. ठीक है, but this group is just for your information. ठीक है, और can be asked in MCQs that these drugs also have anxiolytic effects, so you should know. But we will depression. When we discuss the antidepressant drugs, then we will discuss the selective serotonin reuptake inhibitor, and they have no anxiolytic effects. आप लोग एंजाइटी और डिप्रेशन को थोड़ा सा मिक्स कर रहे हो, जब आप लोगों का जो है वो डिस्कस होकर एंटी डिप्रेसेंट, तो थोड़ा सा आपका क्लियर हो जाएगा. अभी उसकी डेप्थ में जाने की जरूरत नहीं है. ठीक है, जस्ट कॉन्सेंट्रेट ऑन एंजाइटी. We will discuss I will confirm the one name of that drug is promethazine, and next one is hydroxyzine, if I'm not wrong. Hydroxyzine. I will confirm you tomorrow because we have second lecture tomorrow for the remaining part of the sedative and hypnotics. And tomorrow we will discuss the all information regarding benzodiazepine, barbiturates, and other miscellaneous drugs. Okay. Any question if you can ask? This is one of the MCQ. Okay. Which of the following group of drug is most commonly used to relieve anxiety? Which group is used mainly to reduce anxiety? Okay, number one, good. Benzodiazepines. Remember, barbiturate is now a historical drug. It is not used to relieve anxiety. It has only few indications, barbiturates, okay? They are not used for anxiety, not used for induction of sleep. Remember, we have other drugs that are quite safe than barbiturates. So we prefer other drugs, not the barbiturates. Clear? Okay. Okay, these are the two. If you have any question, can benzo have any effect on BP means barbiturates? Ma'am, you are asking about our dose of benzodiazepine is not lethal. Benzodiazepines have very long therapeutic index. Okay, blood pressure. Benzodiazepine has no effect on the blood pressure. Okay. But if any person having anxiety and the blood pressure is raised because of anxiety, then the blood pressure can be normalized. Okay? If the raise of the blood pressure is because of anxiety, then that type of blood pressure can be settled down with anxiolytics. Clear है? क्योंकि ब्लड प्रेशर का बढ़ने का एक मतलब बिग फैक्टर जो है वो स्ट्रेस है, एंजाइटी है. क्लियर? सो स्ट्रेस एंजाइटी की वजह से अगर ब्लड प्रेशर बढ़ा हुआ है तो वो सेटल डाउन हो जाएगा. But if it is because of any other thing, then it will not be settled down with anxiolytic, and patient required the specific treatment. क्लियर हो गया? हम आपको क्लियर हुआ है इसके why how it reduces the blood pressure? CNS depression is another field. It reduces the worries, it reduces the anxiety, this group. That's why they reduces the blood pressure. So as I told you that if the blood pressure is due to stress and anxiety, then it will be settled down. If it is because of any other cause, then it will require specific drug treatment. Clear? Okay. Okay, we can discuss this slide as well. All the anxiolytic and sedative hypnotics should be used only for symptomatic relief. Remember, these drugs has no effect on the disease process. ठीक है, ऐसा नहीं होगा कि आपने कुछ टाइम के लिए ले लिया और वो ठीक हो गया. Until and unless patient having acute anxiety that is self-limiting and or it requires small help, ठीक है, in the form of these drugs for psychotherapy. Otherwise, these drugs has no effect on the disease process. All the drugs uses alter the sleep pattern and should be administered only for days. As you know, the hypnotic drugs interfere in the sleep cycle. Okay? Interfere with the sleep cycle, especially with the rapid eye movement sleep. So the prolonged use of these drugs can disturb your normal sleeps and can cause even addiction and physical dependence. That's why it is advised that these drugs should be used for short period of time, never for the months or the years. Okay. Okay. Okay, we will end here, and remaining portion we will discuss tomorrow, inshallah, and try to read this chapter from the even from the Lippincott or even from the Rickardson review, so that you can have some idea related to benzodiazepine, barbiturates, and you will enjoy more by listening this lecture, and you can retain more if you have read before listening the lecture. Clear? Okay. Thank you very much.